Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kevin Lee Show. Thank you for coming on. This is an 8-part series that I will be releasing every week on Monday at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The preface for this interview is based around a primary question that I learned from Tony Robbins attending his business mastery event in Amsterdam. And it is based around, if your core business was completely disrupted tomorrow, what would you do? How would you pivot or innovate? And during this time of the recording, we're going through the COVID pandemic. And so I thought it was very fitting interviewing people from around the world in different industries to see how they've pivoted and innovated in their struggling industries. And so the idea is to inspire and encourage people who need it. And so I hope everyone can learn a few lessons from these experts. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for coming on today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kevin?
I'm good. I've been losing sleep over this interview. I've been so excited to get you on, and I'm so lucky. I feel like, I finally got her on, because I know there's a time zone difference. You're in LA, right?
I am, yeah. I'm near LA, SoCal, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like pretty early morning for me, but it's okay. I'm just super excited to have you on. So I just wanted to hear a bit more about your story, how you went from stage to film to YouTube, and then to live stream, so we can get a bit of a background.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Michelle Osorio, and ultimately I identify as an entertainer and storyteller. So from a young age, I loved to draw, I loved to tell stories. And eventually, after watching The Little Mermaid, my friends all told me I could sing like The Little Mermaid. And that's when I started getting really into that. I did choir, majored in musical theater, and ultimately I just love to entertain people, make them smile, make them laugh. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was about connection. I just lived to connect with people. So when I grew up, it was no surprise that I fell into filmmaking. I loved the stage, but it made me very nervous, and I didn't like being put out there, and I was afraid to be judged, and I had terrible stage fright, even though I did it for many years. So I felt much more comfortable behind the camera. So I went to film school, did the film festival circuit, and then, being the nerd that I am, got into tech and started doing videos for tech companies. That led to eventually getting into YouTube, and then making several shows that went viral, had lots of fans around the world. Then I got into live streaming because that was the next big techie thing. So Tech Geek Michelle wanted to find new ways to connect with people, and I was able to grow a large audience live streaming. So I have 136,000 live stream followers as well. So I entertain people mostly. Yeah, it's hard to believe, and I grew that just within a couple of years. So ultimately, the prevailing theme is, no matter what platform I went to, it was really just about connecting with people and giving them, I used to say, a moving experience, but I would say now it's probably more a transformational experience, whether that's helping people through depression or just cheering them up on a tough day with some music or just talking to them. So in the last year and a half, I've evolved that to the next level, which is I founded Dare to Dream School so that I could help other people, because I was getting a lot of other entrepreneurs or musicians or artists, or even just people who ran regular businesses, who just wanted to know, how do you do it? How do you gain an audience? How do you get fans? How do you get people to resonate with you? I want to start a YouTube channel, or should I start a live stream? So it kind of happened organically that Dare to Dream School was born, where I started helping people feel that confidence that they could dare to say they deserved to be on camera and build a movement and build a community, that's not a ridiculous desire to put themselves out there. So that's what I did. I've been teaching. I have a course helping people conquer video and helping people with mindset. I thought I was just going to teach about tech, but it turns out it was more about helping people understand, yes, I deserve to be on camera. I deserve to send my message out there. So that's what I've been doing for a while now, in addition to all the creative stuff, helping other people put themselves out on the internet and grow their audience.
Wow, that's so much there. Like, I mean, your journey from developing emotionally, connecting with your audience, and then finding out what it is that drives you, and going from there to continually build and compound and grow that into what it is today. And I love that title, Dare to Dream School. I love that title.
It took me a long time to come up with that. I wondered for a time, is that too cheesy? Is that too aspirational?
Nah, not at all. That's like kick-ass. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. I wanted to ask, what was your business model before? And obviously, there's a massive disruption going on at this moment of recording COVID-19. What has your business model evolved or innovated and pivoted to since then?
So when I started with internet video in general, as well as music, it was more a one-to-many model. The idea being, if people resonated with my message, they wanted to join my community, they could just spend a few dollars here and there, buy some music, maybe buy a DVD back when DVDs were a thing. And I continued that. I recently expanded to an e-commerce store as well, and was selling clothing, like custom clothing that I designed and worked with designers on. And then the Dare to Dream School was still kind of in a beta mode. So I had just beta tested my courses and my products, but I'm so grateful that I had started that and had that knowledge business, that consulting company. I was somewhat established in it, had done some one-on-one consulting as well, built up the course, because when the pandemic hit, suddenly sending physical products became a lot more difficult. A lot of my suppliers were scrambling to continue functioning. They were working at half capacity, then a quarter capacity, then they shut down completely, then they tried to reopen, but then were having trouble, like they were having trouble with shipping. So I actually ended up pausing my store for a while because it was just so hard to keep up with what was happening, with the shipping deadlines changing and supply being affected, the supply chain being affected. So I was so grateful that we had already begun and tested the beta course for Dare to Dream School. I had already had some clients. So we were able to, me and my team, we were able to quickly pivot and focus more back on the consulting. So instead of a one-to-many, it was one-to-one or one to a small group, but being able to charge a higher price because that was consulting versus, the value of like music and that sort of thing. People don't expect to spend a lot for that sort of thing. So we were able to just quickly, I updated the sales page, put it on a new platform. And even though we weren't supposed to relaunch the course until later in the year, suddenly everything changed. We scrapped our entire e-commerce plan. We had all these sales planned, and we just scrapped everything, made I suppose you could say we were just almost winging it, or kind of. We put together a quick plan.
Yeah.
And so I'm about to do a soft launch of that business for video confidence course that I had beta tested last year. And I have people enrolling, thankfully, because I had been nurturing during this time. So I'm very grateful I had a digital product to pivot to in this time.
Wow. So essentially you went from having an e-commerce store, it being completely disrupted by supply and delivery. You've had to pretty much pause it or shut it for the time being. And then you kind of curated what you've learned through this whole process and combined it with mindset coaching to create courses for other people.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So the e-commerce, I would say if I had already been very comfortable with Facebook ads and that sort of thing, but then maybe I could have continued during the pandemic, because some of my equals in that area, they've been doing okay. So I'm not saying that e-commerce is entirely hit, but
Yeah.
as someone who sold, you could say luxury
Yeah.
items, you know, things
Mm.
that people don't need, like
Mm.
music and sometimes I sold physical CDs. Some people still liked that. And
Mm.
then the clothing I sold kind of at a premium
Mm.
as well. So it was just suddenly people weren't reacting to the
Yeah.
sales. We would run sales and nobody was buying. So if I had a really solid Facebook kind of campaign already going, then maybe I could have
Mm.
survived. But I don't regret it. I'm really glad I just paused the store because the suppliers have been sending emails saying shipping prices are going up. 1 week later, shipping prices are going up again. 1 week later, sorry, we can't ship on weekends anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I dodged a bullet there because we would have had to, we probably would have made less sales and had to pay for more customer service time answering angry emails of people who are not getting their
Yeah, I can
stuff.
imagine. Oh wow. Um, I wanted to ask as well through this whole process of you transitioning from e-commerce to digital courses, and obviously this whole pandemic that's going on. What learns have you had, or what would you consider doing differently if you had to do it all over again?
If I had to do it over again, I would have spent, well, hindsight is 2020. I would have
Yeah.
spent the beginning of the year not focusing on rounding out more of my products for my e-commerce store.
Mm.
And I would have instead used that time to do the soft launch of my course so that by now I would have had the entire funnel set up, the entire ad campaign ready to go, and I probably could have benefited more now from
Mm.
that. But having said that, I you know, I couldn't have seen it coming.
Mm.
And at least I had enough diversity in income streams that I did have something
Mm.
to jump to.
Yeah.
So amongst my creative friends, the people who are doing live stream and YouTube, some are doing okay because they switched to just live streaming all the time and depending on donations from
Mm.
their fans, which is something I used to do a long time ago. And that works too. But there are some people who they relied entirely on live venues and they're really suffering right now because they're not able to pivot. There's a tiny group of us creatives who started getting into the knowledge business, consulting so that we can show other people how do you get online, how do you build a brand,
Mm.
how do you grow audiences. And I think we're probably in the best position right now
Yeah.
because people, if there's one thing people are willing to do right now, the public, it's use this time to learn.
I agree, 100%. Especially in isolation, you just want to expand and learn. And there was some statistic about 3 or 4 out of 5 people at home wanting to upskill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also that some people are using this time to really stop and reflect and think about their life
Mm.
because they were forced to stop doing their regular 9 to 5 and face their life and see, is this what I want to do? So somebody who enrolled in my video for business bootcamp that's about to start is somebody who was working in IT but never really wanted to do that in the first place and really wants to start a YouTube channel and start live streaming.
Mm.
So when we talked, you know, we talked about, hey, you're stuck at home anyway, so why not use this time to explore it? I'll
Yeah.
teach you how to do it, and at least you can say you tried because I've been there.
Yeah.
I was in exactly the same place,
Mm.
and I know how that is to have that wake up moment
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
realize, is this the life I want to live? So I think it's good that the pandemic has at least allowed people to examine their existence and think about maybe their mortality and think, what do I want to be doing with my time? Do I want to be doing what I love, what I'm passionate about?
Mm.
When this is all over, what will my life look like now? And is right now maybe the time to start making a change?
Wow. Yeah. I agree. a lot of time to contemplate and really consider what we really want to do at this point in time. I think this whole period has really accelerated people's journey. You know, if you're thinking about it before, now you've got so much time to think about it and go, okay, I've got to do something differently from now. I think that's a great segue into asking you about what do you think the future landscape will be in your industry of people, whether it's YouTube or the knowledge business. Where do you think that's going?
Well, every time I talk about my business, it's twofold because these are two different businesses.
Yeah.
So in terms of being a creative, there have been a lot of changes anyway in the last couple of years related to how people who are creative make money online.
Mm-hmm.
So a few times there was a thing called the YouTube ad apocalypse where, for instance, the way ads worked changed and a lot of people started losing money because they were relying on ad money alone.
Yeah.
And a hard lesson was learned for some of those creative entrepreneurs that you have to have multiple income streams. But for anybody who is still holding on to that business model, that's almost entirely over now. So I think post-pandemic, a lot of people who are creative are going to have to start thinking about truly treating what they do as a business.
Yeah.
Whether they are a musician or a filmmaker or a painter, the idea of just hoping you make some money on ads or selling maybe selling a couple of t-shirts on, Cafe Press or something like that. It's only going to go so far. So people who are doing okay and surviving right now are the people who treated their art like a business and either had other products to sell or other services to sell, or were able to quickly pivot in order to have a new offer. So for instance, I know someone who's an actress. She did some influencer campaigns for my store, and she used to work at princess parties, and she did local dinner theater, and suddenly all of her income disappeared.
Right.
But she quickly pivoted, and she made a post that went viral where she was wearing one of my outfits, by the way, from my store. But she was promoting that she could basically do a mini princess party on Zoom or on a video call, but it could be one-on-one, and she was just charging, I think it was $20 or $25 for a quick call, just a few minutes, and it went viral. And she had to book out, I think, just weeks in advance, so she was able to supplement her income thanks to quickly pivoting. So in terms of what lessons people in the creative world learned, I hope it's that they start looking at their business, at what they're doing as a business, and start dividing things into products. What products can I offer? What services can I offer? And start looking at things that way instead of I'm going to put things out there and just hope that I go viral or something like that. And then let's see, in terms of the knowledge business and the consulting business, how do I think things will change? I think it might be similar, just that people might want to start diversifying more what they had to offer. So for instance, my course, it was really more like a boot camp. It was only going to be that it was a high ticket, more like a course plus group coaching combination. And people would pay more, but I could hold their hand and help them with whatever project they wanted to take on, whether that's start a live stream show, start a YouTube channel, just get more comfortable on camera. And even though I do think that's the best way to do my boot camp, I have seen people who either aren't ready to invest in that kind of thing, or they're in a situation where that's just not feasible. And I think people who or companies or services or businesses who have been able to offer lower ticket products, they're just making a killing right now. The $27 courses, the $97 courses, those are doing very well. So going back to where you said, what would I do differently? I had always planned to have a lower ticket a smaller cost product. I just didn't have it ready yet on my
Mm.
timeline. That's definitely something I would have wanted to have ready by now, so that I could at least start helping people, start serving people with maybe something that they could afford in this current climate. But that's definitely going to motivate more people, I think, to perhaps have a larger variety in their product stack, so to speak, of products at different prices, and
Mm.
probably also maybe changing their payment plans as well. I've seen that already. You might have seen that. I've seen a lot of marketers, a lot of educators
Mm.
start expanding their payment plans to like 12-month plans and things like that.
Oh, wow. So they're basically splitting the payment over a few
Stretching it
months.
out.
Yeah, stretching out. Oh. Yeah, I think that
Mm-hmm.
makes it so much easier for people to sign up, right? Especially if it's a slightly, even a medium price ticket. Not everyone's in the position to pay at the moment. And as you split it up that way, it just makes it so much more an easy and access point, I would say, for people to go,
Right.
okay, I could afford that once a month. Yeah, versus paying
Right.
the whole thing in one shot. Mm.
Right. Exactly.
I know that your focus at the moment is the Dare to Dream School and all your digital courses. I want to get an insight on where you would like to take that going forward and what your focus will be on.
So right now, the focus of Dare to Dream School is mostly on video, because that's my background.
Mm.
I went to film school. I've won awards and done film festivals. I can make really fancy videos. However, one thing I've told people who are intimidated by video, and this is something I'm teaching,
Mm.
is it really doesn't have to be that fancy. You just need to learn the basics. And people's expectations nowadays on a Facebook Live or even on a YouTube video is people don't expect it
Mm.
to look, really fancy. But that's where I decided to start after doing a lot of market research, doing a lot of calls with people. I saw that that's what they wanted from me. That's not what I actually initially was going to teach. I was going to
Mm-hmm.
teach more live streaming on an app and making money off donations, because that's something I knew how to do as well. But everyone wanted to know more how to grow their business by making videos. So
Mm.
that's the focus for a while, probably for the next year or two. But ultimately, I would like to teach it to be a larger institution that teaches about anything to do with online business. Basically,
Mm.
anything I've learned, such as how to open an e-commerce store, how to do print on demand, how to distribute physical products, whether that's DVDs or CDs or record albums or books.
Mm.
I would like to expand the portfolio of Dare to Dream School and still fit that mission statement of helping people, dare to dream, because there are people who some people have businesses and they just want to get online, but they're intimidated for for whatever reason, whether that's being afraid to be on camera or feeling like maybe they can't get over the tech part of it, helping them achieve that dream, that they
Mm.
can do it, that they can aspire to that. But also, even in a more fanciful, whimsical way of
Mm.
people who want to break out of the 9 to 5 and start a business, or people who are starving artists who just want to learn how to make a business,
Mm.
and as well as inspire. So that eventually I would like to have more of a motivational aspect to Dare to Dream School. I would
Yeah.
really love to do conferences, in-person workshops and retreats to inspire people from a mindset standpoint.
Mm.
Because when I started this, I really thought I was just going to consult and make courses to help people with the technical part, and that's it.
Mm.
I did not expect so many people to have the hang-ups of whether they deserved to be on camera in the first place.
Right. Right.
But that was a big part of it. As I did my beta course, as I consulted, people were worried, should I hire an actor to be
Mm.
my spokesperson? I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I look authoritative enough. I
Yeah.
think I'm too old. I think I'm too fat. I think I'm too young. I think I'm too skinny. There was
Mm.
constantly, I'm not enough. I don't deserve the spotlight, or
Yeah.
not in these words, but how dare I go take up space and
Mm.
claim to be an authority and try to be whatever they're famous or a thought leader in my industry. So that's where I came up with that name, Dare to Dream, because it is a bold thing to say, I do deserve this. I deserve to put the camera on my face and spread my message and grow a community behind my movement. I should have the audacity to do that. So I think, based on my experiences, seeing that people really needed help in the confidence department, what I envision is having live conferences that have a motivational aspect to help people feel like they deserve it, that they are enough just the way they are. They don't need to lose weight or put on creams to look younger or cake themselves in makeup. And people are welcome to do that, but they don't need to wait until they reach some kind of ideal before they put themselves out there and share their gift with the world. So I would really like Dare to Dream School to expand to that and help really have an inspirational aspect to it, which is weird because I'm not really usually somebody who I'm a very technical person by being an artist. So I never expected that I would want to be a motivational speaker, but I find myself constantly motivating my students and my clients to say, you can do this and you deserve it. So yeah, that's where I envision Dare to Dream School. And I would also like to do more courses to help artists specifically. I do help regular business owners, but I would like to make some courses to show musicians, for instance, how they can sell albums, record albums, build their own store. I've been asked to make a singing course, so I'm about to team up with my old vocal coach. We're gonna now that I know how to make courses, we're gonna make a singing course for people too.
Wow.
So I just want to teach everything. Teach everything for people.
I completely agree, and I see where you're coming from. There are so many creatives on, whatever channel it is, whether it's YouTube or any other channel, and they have this dream and they want to be able to share it, but they kind of get stuck, right? Whether it's, at first, a lot of people think it's technical. It's like, oh, what do I need to learn to be able to do what she does or what to do what he does? But then very quickly they realize, oh, wait, it's actually a mindset thing. Yeah, I've got the tools now. I've bought the mic, and it's like, oh, but is this really going to be okay? Can I really do this? And so I think it's amazing what you do, because you're the setting example, right? Hey, look, I'm doing it. Here it is. Here are the people I showed you. You've paved the way, and you can create the framework and show them and guide them. And in some parts you can hold their hand as well. And I can't wait to see even more examples and the people that you take through the journey, and the success stories that they're able to share later as well. To go, hey, I did it. I dared to dream.
Yes. Yeah. Our motto is Dare to Dream Boldly.
Dare to dream boldly.
You can have little dreams, but I'm saying dream big.
I really did enjoy this conversation so much, and as we're wrapping up, I just wanted to ask you, where and how can people learn more about you and your business, Maria?
So I wanted to share that during the quarantine, I actually wrote a book.
Tell me about it.
So it's about camera confidence. It's basically encapsulating that part of my beta course that I did that I did not even expect that I would need to do. So I decided I'm going to put that all in a book to give people exercises. These are things I learned. Some of it is stuff I learned as an actor a long time ago on the stage. A lot of it is actually from my directing days or directing workshops. So the entertainment business has a lot of great techniques to help people feel more comfortable, to really get in the moment. And I do think that has been something sort of lacking in a lot of video training thus far. It tends to be very technical. So I decided, I don't see a lot of books, I haven't seen any actually, books about just helping regular people feel more confident on camera. So it's going to be a short book. I just finished the draft, so it's going into editing, but it's just going to be mostly just drills and techniques that people can apply right away right before they hit record so that they can appear more genuine, so they can appear more comfortable.
Yeah.
And hopefully be happier with the result, or learn how to better, more graciously rewatch their video without just picking themselves apart and deleting the file. So,
where do I sign for the pre-order?
so as part of this, I wanted to say I will be giving out free advanced copies. So,
Wow.
so the URL is daretodreamschool.com/confidence book. daretodreamschool.com/confidence book. And I'm giving out advanced reader copies before it officially goes on sale. So it's a win-win. I can get some feedback, hopefully from people, and hopefully some reviews when it comes out. And if people are listening to this later, and the book's already out and I'm not giving away copies anymore, what I'll do is I will still put up some exercises and worksheets from the book that people can use just by going to that link.
Oh, thank you so much, Maria. That's so generous and kind of you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I think everyone deserves their moment in the sun. Everyone deserves the spotlight. They just need the tools to help them see that and help them be willing to be brave and go out there and try it.
I'll put all the links in the show notes, and I'll put all your handles, tags, and websites as well, so I can share it with all the audience. But Michelle, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our time together on this podcast, whether you're listening or watching. And I'm going to be subscribed to you, to your journey. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Kevin.
All right. Speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Hey. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. All the links to the show notes will be available at kevinleesocial.com, spelled KEVINLY. Conversely, if you have any interviews that you'd love to recommend, please send it over to kevinleesocial@gmail.com. I'd love to connect. Thank you. Until the next episode.